Hello again, beautiful artists, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye and I post beginning level acrylic painting tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So make sure to hit subscribe so you can join the fun and paint along, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. This week it is that gorgeous time of year where we are celebrating the holiday season, and it's that time where fall turns into winter. So I wanted to do a fun holiday and winter kind of cold weather themed painting today with some different types of trees that we are actually going to enlist the help of some stencils to create here. So I made these stencils for my practice painting with some cardstock. So I'm going to show you guys the materials that we're going to use for today's painting. I have my 4 standard brushes that I use in most of my classes. This is a kit that comes with these 4 sizes. It's not necessarily important that you have the exact same kit, but you do want probably these general sizes for my classes. So this comes with a large square 3/4 inch wash brush, a medium-sized pointed brush. This is a size 10, and then I have 2 small detail brushes, a size 3 and a size 3/0. Going to get those 4 in my water cup off the side of the screen. I have a Ticonderoga pencil, any old pencil will do, and we're going to use that for our stenciling. And then on the side here, I also have a few pieces of paper. I have a gray paper, yours does not have to be. I have sort of a medium weight cardstock, yours can be regular old paper, even lined paper. We're just going to be using those for our stencils, so that's going to be a one-use kind of thing, nothing fancy. And then for the colors that we're going to start out for the, I guess it's a foreground step. Usually we do a background step and then a foreground, but we're going to do a foreground and then a background today. So for my trees, I have this gorgeous phthalo green, some ultramarine blue, and some black and white. If you'd like to see a full materials list of everything that I use, check the description box below. It'll show you the colors that we'll use for today's painting, and then it will also have a link to my website, to my materials page, where it will show you everything that you need to paint along. All right, we're actually gonna jump in with our stencils. So I'm gonna grab my cardstock paper, and I'm gonna have my pencil on hand. And I wanna make pretty big trees. And I'm going to start with a really simple shape, and you might not even need a pencil for this, to be honest. And we're just going to go on the diagonal here and make a nice big triangle. And then I'm going to grab my scissors, which I forgot to mention before, but you'll need just a normal old pair of household scissors. These art room scissors have seen better days, so please don't look too closely. And I'm just going to now cut out. I went a little bit more sharper with the edge than I originally had, so you can then adjust it however you like. So that is maybe even a little bit too wide, so you can adjust a couple times. And no big deal if you need to use another piece of paper. I like that, that looks good. Okay, great. And we can make really whatever size we want, but I'm gonna start with 2 of the sort of larger ones. So I have my basic triangle. I'm gonna grab my second piece of paper here, and I'm going to fold long ways again. Your stencils really could be whatever you like, any kind of tree shape, and we're doing 4 trees, so I'm going to do 4 different stencils. But this one I'm going to get a little bit trickier. So I'm going to go from the top here, bring a triangle out a little bit, and we're going to do these little zigzags. I'm going to do 3 And then that'll probably be the bottom of the tree. So let's see how that shape looks. And then once I've done the sketching and I'm cutting out, just want to mention that it's good to leave things a little bit bigger than you might think you are going to end up. That way, obviously, it's easier to create a smaller adjustment version of your same stencil rather than having to make a whole new one. All right, let's just see how this looks. I'm gonna go a little taller than I originally thought. That looks so cute. I like it. I think I'm gonna adjust that. I like it how it is. Okay, 2 down. Wonderful. Okay, and I'm gonna make a smaller one now. I'm going to go with sort of 2 larger trees and 2 smaller trees. I'm going to do just a triangular one, so I'm not even going to sketch. You don't have to sketch necessarily. You can just go crazy with your scissors if that works for you. I'm going to do a smaller tree, then the big mama. Let's see that size. Very nice. Okay, and then we can start to sort of create what our composition is going to look like. Just thinking sort of like the 2 triangles like so, and then this guy right here, and then maybe one more small tree. A lot of paper scraps today, so probably some creative uses for some paper scraps. If you have a good idea for something, let me know. Maybe some snowflakes or something like that. Snowflakes are fun to make, and with folding paper and scissors as well. Okay, and let's actually even get a little creative with this one. So rather than doing the sort of zigzag pattern, I'm gonna do one with a little bit of flair. So same kind of shape, but with a flare instead of it just being triangular. And then we'll swoop out again and work our way down. Always adjustable. Okay, and I might end up just sort of stopping there since it's a pretty small tree that I'm going for. Let's see how that looks. Feels like Christmas craft time when you start cutting paper, just something about it. Whether you be a kid or a kid at heart, we all enjoy cutting some craft paper from time to time. All right, and still straight. A little bit of a flare. Let's see what we got. Probably too long here in the bottom. Maybe a little bit too long here too. Again, always starting a little smaller than I think I'm gonna end up. Trim the base a little here too. Looks promising. Cute. All right, let's see what we got. This is one of the few times we've used stencils like this to help with our composition. Wanted to make something really simple and fun for all ages, and even for first timers. Okay, cute. This this is the composition that I'm gonna go with. Probably, let's adjust a little bit. I'm gonna make this a tiny bit smaller so that I can fit everyone a little better. Okay, that would look nice too. For the triangle to be in front. I don't mind that. And we can overlap a little bit from the edge. Let's see here. Maybe something like that. That looks pretty cute. Okay, I like it. Let's go with it. So now, still haven't started painting yet. I'm gonna grab my pencil and sketch out my composition here. So since I'm gonna have my big trees in the background and my smaller trees in the foreground, I'm just gonna scooch my smaller trees over for a second. And I'm gonna start with the tree that I think is going to be furthest in the background. And now, I'm just gonna use my handy dandy stencils to trace out perfect shapes. So simple. We're gonna do this guy right next door. Going on the bigger side with my trees so that I can fill up this size canvas. I'm using an 11 by 14 canvas today, but unlike baking or something, it's totally adjustable. So the amount of paint that you use changes from person to person, from climate to climate. It's all a little bit, you know, more of an art rather than a science. So any rectangular shaped canvas you can adjust slightly. So some of my paintings have been done even on smaller ones. Okay, then I'm gonna do this guy right here in front and then this guy right here, or does it look like that? No, I have to mix it up. All right, so we have a couple layers of trees here. I think I'll scoot that over right about there. And I also had a question the other day, if you need to prime your canvas with anything, and the answer is no. Not if you are buying the pre-prepped canvases, which are the kind that you buy at the normal craft store or wherever you are buying canvases. Amazon, big box stores like Walmart sell these. And this is a canvas board. And canvas boards, as well as boxed canvases, are typically sold already. You're ready to go. You're ready to start painting. And some artists will tint their background as they prep it. That's how they prefer their painting surface. And you could try some things. I personally like, if there's something down first and then I'm putting my first layer of color on, I almost don't like it. Like the buildup can sometimes get a little bit sticky. So I'm actually not a fan of doing that. And I like my colors really vibrant, which you probably do as well if you're here with me. So I do not prep it with any sort of neutral color. Artists do that to sort of deliberately force themselves to not use the bright colors because people think that that is garish and not realistic. So they do that to tone things down a little bit, but I like it that way. I like the bright colors. So especially for things like this and where we're starting right now, maybe if we were doing like a legit landscape, then we would bring some of those brown tones in, but we're ready to get painting today. And what we're gonna do for today's, again, is gonna be a little different than what we usually do with the background and the foreground. So because we're gonna do some techniques to create what looks like a plaid. I had the plaid inspiration and the sort of winter fabric inspiration for today's painting. We have to sort of pull our brush strokes over. So we're gonna do what is gonna be the foreground, a layer of the foreground first. And then we will go around nice and tidy with our background color. All right, and I think I wanna do my plaid. Gotta decide which ones we're gonna do here. I think I'm gonna do plaid right here for my triangular guys, and then I'll do solid colors for these guys. So you can again choose whatever colors that you like. Feel free to customize any step always. I encourage creativity. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in though with the base colors. So the ones that I'm going to do with plaid, I'm going to do with green. And this guy is in the background. So we have our overlapping lines here, which can get a little confusing, but we gotta remember we're doing the big guys in the background and the small guys in the foreground. So I'm gonna mix up a forest green now. I have my medium-sized brush and I'm using my phthalo green mixed with a little bit of black and then also a little bit of white, creating what we call a tone. Toning that down so that it's not quite so bright and garish. Not right out of the bottle, and so that it matches my nails perfectly. Okay, and since it's in the background, we need to be mindful here of not going too much here into our front tree. And we're going just for a solid color green to start. And just going to very delicately bring it to my sketch line. Feel free to use a smaller brush for filling in right along these lines, if that make you feel like you have a little bit more control. As I'm talking, I'm wiggling it a little bit, which makes me crazy. Try to get it as straight as possible. I'm sorry if I block my brush strokes sometimes, but getting those straight lines sometimes requires specific angles. And I'm trying not to block too much. It's a lot to remember to keep narrating and try to do a somewhat okay painting. But it's fun. I'm up for the challenge. I always compare this to trying to sing and play guitar or play piano at the same time. I can do it, but suddenly both the singing and the music is not as good. Much better to focus on one at a time if we're going for pure success with our painting rather than what I'm going for today, which is fun and instruction. That's a really pretty color. Liking that dark green. Okay, and again, we want a nice, just solid coat of this background color. I'm getting a little bit of like streakiness, which is just kind of the nature of that hue of green. So I'm gonna do the best that I can to get it solid. I'm gonna step away for a bit. We're gonna let that dry. All right. Then I'm gonna move over here to my other biggest tree, but I'm not gonna do the same dark green. I think for this tree, I'm gonna do blue. Do a nice frosty blue. And I'm gonna mix in a little bit of white with it. But I want it to be fairly vibrant still. Nice Christmassy blue. And also feel free to move your canvas around. I'm trying to keep mine, of course, in one place on its mark. But when I'm painting just in the studio, working on these concepts, or sketching or doing anything, I'm often moving it all around to get a better angle. Right along the edge there. And we don't have to be too neat because we are going to be bringing our background color in around this. So we can tidy it up at that step as well. All right, and remembering which ones are in front of which ones, which can get pretty confusing. But this triangle is going to be in front here, and then our little guys are in front. Like a cute little family photo of trees. And that would actually be a cute idea. You could customize this if you wanted to have it sort of be members of your family. Cute would that be? Okay. And this will make a little more sense with all of our overlapping sketch lines, hopefully, once everything is nice and filled in. That triangle's gonna go right over there. Okay. Great. I'm gonna do now this front triangle with green. Same green, only let's do a slightly lighter color, lighter version of it. Very pretty, vibrant color. So I'm just using some white in that same green, white, and black mixture. We're just filling in this front triangle. And we want a nice clean line where the colors meet, but it's going to be our challenge not to blend the colors together. Okay. I'll make this a little bit bigger just to make sure that I'm overlapping any sketch lines. I just want a nice, cute little minty green triangle. Perfect. All right, now, similarly, I'm going to just take a lighter version of my beautiful blue now for my cute little front tree. Very pretty, frosty blue color, so nice. And actually, I think it is time for me to use a smaller brush for our smallest tree. We're just bringing that line right to meet our green. We should have all 4 trees filled in with their nice colors and the correct shapes. Let me know in the comments if you like these easier ones with stencils even. We do fun little sort of craft meets painting. Can do that from time to time. We do use sketch always and printed reference photos over in my intermediate program, which is called the Gold Stars program, which I offer through YouTube memberships. And having a reference photo really changes the game. But for these guys, I'm just using my imagination most of the time. I do tend to do at least a practice painting beforehand, and then I typically do start with a sketch. But with the Gold Stars program, we're actually painting from photographs, which I have sized and provided for members. Membership also includes free access to included access with your membership price to my Color Theory 101 course, which is a really fundamental class for any artist, whether it be just a long time since you've learned color theory or if you never had it, if you need it as a foundation, I have it available for members because I've got to make sure they have that color mixing practice down. But it's also available on Skillshare if you want to check it out over there. All right, we're almost finished filling in our 4 cutie little trees. And thank you if you are a member. Just know that you are helping support me and the channel. Goes to materials and one day a tech upgrade. I am a one-woman show with a day job, so I really appreciate anyone that is supporting the channel through the membership program. All right, that's looking really good. This painting is going to be a little bit about patience. So let's step away for a bit. We're gonna have to let this layer dry. I think we are gonna need to take another little dry break later too, but we'll see how things go. But let's go ahead and step away and let these colors completely dry, and then we'll come back and add our fun patterns that are inspired by different types of winter clothing. So let's let them dry. We'll step away. I'll see you guys in a few. Hello again, beautiful artists. Skye here with an exciting channel announcement. Intermediate courses are now available through YouTube memberships. The program is called the Paint Along with Skye Gold Stars program, and membership includes exclusive access to 2 longer tutorials per month where I take you through step-by-step one more challenging painting. 1 painting, 2 parts. With the Gold Stars program, I'll be taking you through a more traditional painting process where we will use a reference photo and a grid sketch method. If you've been painting along with me for a while and you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit, I invite you to join us. Membership includes sized printable reference photos, access to the bi-weekly videos, which are uploaded on the 1st and 3rd Thursdays of the month. Membership will also, of course, support me and the channel and allow me to keep providing the free tutorials and the intermediate program for everyone in perpetuity. To find out more information and to get signed up, simply click the join button on any of my videos or on my channel homepage. I can't wait to get creative with you. See you soon. Okay, welcome back, artists. We have a completely dry first layer and some new fresh colors on the piece of palette paper. So I just have some black and white as well as some more ultramarine blue, and I also have a little bit of a warm brown. This is a burnt sienna brown. I rinsed my brushes and got some fresh water at break as well. Let's go ahead and jump right back on into things, and we are going to start with our patterns on our back behind trees here. And we're gonna do the plaid first for this big green front over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my large brush for this, but I'm gonna have it be a little bit damp. So I rinsed it in the water and then dried it on my little rag. And then what I'm going to do, make sure not to flick water all over your painting when you do this, but we're going to separate our brush's bristles so that we have all these little separated lines. And we're gonna dip this then into just white. I might even get a little messy here with my hand to try to separate the line or separate the bristles so we can see all of those little bristles on the brush. And I'm going to come here into my top green tree, and I'm going to just ever so lightly come across here with a little pass of white with my damp brush. And you want it to have that little bit of fuzzy canvas texture. That's what we're going with here to make it look like the stitching in plaid. And I'm going to come over into that blue tree if I have to a little bit, because we can touch up that area later. So don't worry too much. Let me make sure I've got it separated here. That one was a little clunky, but the overall effect should still be fine. Make sure and bring your brush stroke all the way across with one fluid brush stroke. And we're trying to evenly space these out. And again, just coming over into the blue if I need to. All right, and then a couple vertical ones as well. And that's coming from like before the tree. And I'm going to try not to go right through the blue. See how cute that looks? Love it. All right, we're just gonna pull that down through the last little squared angle there. And we'll have all these great little checkerboard squares now. So cute. And it was so fun. Let's do it again. Very nice. And we can do this with any color we like, but I think I'm gonna try doing a bluish gray. So I'm gonna take my ultramarine and mix in some white, and I'm going for sort of like the plaid that I'm wearing. So blue and green plaid, and you can really get creative with this. You can do it however you like. Sort of wearing and mimicking here the green and blue colors of the Grant clan in Scotland, because I did my DNA and that is who my family is related to. That's where the red hair comes from too. So, all right, again, separating my brushstroke bristles, separating the bristles for the brushstroke, loading that up with blue-gray, and same process here. Let's do it a little darker. All right, and not solid paint. Don't worry if you get a little messy. I'm always wearing an apron, which helps. And again, don't worry if it goes a little bit over. That's why we're doing this foreground to background thing. But I am gonna try not to get it too much in that blue tree. And then same idea with my big brush. Okay, cute. I'm gonna grab my medium brush really quick, and I'm going to touch up where I went over in my blue tree. And use this as an opportunity to maybe get a second coat on if you need to. Let's make sure that it's a dark enough color here to show the difference. Slightly different blue hues, ideally. Okay, nice. We should have our nice, cute little plaid triangles. All right, nice. Love it. Super cute. And if you need to, also go ahead and we'll touch up this cute little light blue tree as well. Make sure we have a nice clean outline for him after our passes with the brush there. Great. Now, since I touched those blue trees up, I'm going to leave them alone for just a minute. I'm going to work on my background. I'm going to mix up a light brown, and we're going to come in here with either our medium-sized brush or with our big brush, or even a smaller brush, kind of whatever size works for you. We're going to take this beige right up to our shapes, and we're going to try our hardest to cover the color that went over the edge, refine our shapes a little bit, and not blend too much. So I was really trying to just cover the blue there. You can see the teeny tiny bit still, but we can get that with the second coat. A lot of times things just need a second coat. All right, but we're gonna fill in our whole background with this beautiful beige color. I'm most likely going to use all three brushes to fill in. So starting with my medium-sized brush, getting in most of the areas. But then for the fine little detail areas, you can use our smaller brush, the Skye, or even the very tiniest if you need to. Typically, brushstroke control comes with time. So if it's a little challenging, you might just need to use a smaller brush and you'll get a little bit more control just naturally. Okay, and let's take this tiny brush, second to smallest, into these little areas. Feeling very Christmassy. I like the blue-green plaid. Last time I just did white for both, for my little practice painting, but I'm glad I went off book, because the green and blue really is a great combo. All right, that's looking fantastic. Let's go ahead and fill in these larger sections. I think I'm gonna do a little quick pass with my tiny brush, smallest, second to smallest brush, and then I'll come in with larger brushes for the larger areas of filling in. All right, I'm liking the contrast here of our tan with our blue. Those are complementary, since tan is a version of orange, and orange is the opposite of blue. Which you can learn more about again in that color theory course, if you didn't remember that. Okay. And let's see, I think I can probably use the big brush, but I'll go ahead and refine first with the small one. Very nice Christmassy colors today. Thought about doing red colors with the plaids, but I had to do the blue and green theme for Clan Grand. All right. Gonna grab my big brush to finish up. A little bit of blue in there, which I don't want, but can't really notice too much. If we were to blend orange and blue, we would get a shade of brown. So it's not too difficult to sort of blend that right in, but I don't want it ideally just beige, brown and white. Okay, I'm just trying to make a nice consistent background with my beautiful beige color. And really, it could be any color you like for the background. All right, just trying to even things out. Nice solid color. Okay, we may need to touch up a little bit of our little edge here later, but that is okay for now. I want to work on the blue trees, but looks like we do need to let this dry one more time. So let's step away one last break and we'll come back and finish everything up. All right, welcome back to our final last touches. I have a little bit more white on my palette paper and we are ready to jump right back on in. I'm gonna grab my second to smallest detail brush. And we're gonna start decorating our blue trees now. They're so cute, but they could use a little something extra. And you can choose whatever you'd like to do for your blue trees. I'm going to do a little bit of polka dots with a dark blue. So I just have blue with a tiny bit of black. I'm gonna come in here and add my little polka dots. And I'm going to try to do a pattern because that's the theme today. So we're doing types of winter clothing. I'm just gonna start with 3, happen to be 3 for me. Yours might be a little different. And some of these, of course, would be coming from behind our little front tree. And some of these would be sort of overlapping here, or cut off at the edge, rather. Not overlapping. Okay, and then just kind of working from, so these two I started like so, and then I had this one sort of centered between these two for that line. I'm gonna do the same thing again. So this one should match up there, but it's not an exact science. Just a way to help you space everything out. It's super fun and simple little polka dot tree. Again, you can do stripes, you can do squiggles, you can do whatever you like to decorate your tree, just like you would decorate your tree however you like at home for the season. Maybe have one peeking from behind. Make sure and fill in the whole space. All right. Super cute. I almost feel like I want to correct one of these guys really quick. And the way that you do that always is just by taking the color from underneath. I'm going to touch that up a little bit because I think I had too much polka dot. And this would maybe only just be a tiny little peekaboo. All right. Wonderful. And then I think I like to do a touch up of my beige as well. Might as well, while we're doing touch-ups, take a little bit more beige. Your painting may or may not need this. I'm gonna go back into that little area that I had before that had the little bit of blue pulled into the beige. And just make sure I have a nice clean beige there. And making sure that I match the color from before. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. Last little tree. I'm going to do snowflakes for this one. And we can do the big ones here with our white and with our second to smallest brush. I'm going to start with a big X. X marks the spot here. Just like so. And then I'm going to do another little in between line. And then make it look extra snowflakey. Gonna do these little V's on the original longer X brush strokes. We'll have an adorable little snowflake. And we can have a snowflake, or we can also have like some snow flurries. So I'm going to do a little combo of each throughout. And I'm going to have some of my snowflakes be on the smaller side. And we can also sort of mix it up since snowflakes are different. So for this one, for instance, I'm putting little straight lines there on the end rather than the V. We have one more big guy here. We just get to decorate our trees however we like. The blue and white, I think, looks nice. We could do, maybe I'll do V's on this one. And then maybe also some dots. So we're sort of filling this front tree in with this wintry goodness. Little spirals and snowflakes. Just kind of brought a couple little dots there in the tree branch to just sort of continue the swirl. I don't want to crowd it too much. Do one more snowflake up top though. Maybe I'll just do some dots on this guy. Cute. And some swirls to fill in the remaining space. Cute. All right, looking good. We now have 4 different adorable little winter fabric types. And my final touch here is I'm just going to do some black outlining. And this is an optional step, but I think it makes everything look nice and clean. And you can really work however you like here. Make sure you're not bringing a drip in. And I'm going to just work from my right-hand side over. And that is going to be our final little step today. You could also do this step if you were not having very good control with your brush. For today's painting, I feel like you could bring in a paint pen for these outlines. And this kind of unifies all of our shapes as well and just makes things pop. Black outlining, it's going to bring it obviously even more into that sort of fantasy, whimsical cartoon land. If you are painting along today, I love to see my students work. And the way that I've created for you guys to do that is with a free Facebook group that you can join called the Art Club. And you can post your paintings there from painting along with me or just from your own, whatever you got going on. I want to see it. It's truly the best part of my day when I see people enjoying and painting along. So especially if you're painting along and you've made it this far, if you're painting with a group or just by yourself, I love it. I want to see it. Be gentle with yourself and realize that it's not designed to look exactly like mine. The fun of painting is that everyone has their own style. And dexterity comes with practice, and knowledge comes with practice about color mixing and everything like that. So that just comes with time. So proud of you guys for being here, and I love your work. All right, it looks really cute. Definitely feeling the black outlining for today's composition. Again, I would love to know what you thought about it. Since we're going in the easier, sort of more whimsical direction today, I like to mix it up and have some that are super simple and some that are a little bit trickier. And then over in the gold stars sort of vary between intermediate and beginning intermediate. So that we have all levels, and that with the starting point of the color theory class should, you can just step up from there, step by step, and my goal is to get it so that you guys can paint anything in your imagination or that you see from photographs one day too. Cute. All right. Super simple, but I think super cute, and of course super appropriate for this season. So thank you so much for painting along with me today. I hope you had fun. Please hit like if you liked this painting, and that is all the instruction that I have for us this week. So until next time, happy painting and